Why Dubai's man-made islands are still empty. In 2003, it was reported that the man-made island The World, a project that would cost several billions of dollars, would be included as one of Dubai's biggest attractions. The layout of the islands was intended to resemble a map of all the countries on the planet. However, despite the fact that work on the islands was commissioned 10 years ago, there's still not a single building on any of the islands. But why is that? Well, at the height of the real estate bubble in Dubai, which occurred in the early 2000s, many people felt that the development of an artificial shoreline in the emirate would result in the establishment of several lucrative business possibilities. And since then, a significant portion of the land along Dubai's shoreline has been developed. Nakheel Properties, a real estate company that's controlled by the government, was responsible for the significant alteration of Dubai's coastline in less than 20 years. Firstly, the company came up with the idea to create 3 artificial islands in the form of palm trees and name them the Palm Jumeirah, the Palm Deira, and the Palm Jebel Ali. It was estimated that the project on Palm Jumeirah would result in the expansion of Dubai's coastline. And so, in 2003, construction finally began on a number of projects as well as the World Islands, as had been promised previously. And we know what you're thinking. What then happened to the most ambitious project that Dubai had attempted? The islands were supposed to have residential sections with a low population density, complexes with a high population density, and business districts. These projects highlighted the hopes and dreams of Dubai's incredibly diversified population, as well as the multi-ethnic nature of the city itself. It was astounding to see how much trust the crew had in these different endeavors. At the end of 2006, the land reclamation for Palm Jumeirah and the construction of the first Palm Jumeirah houses were both completed and turned over to the owners. The Palm was going to be encircled by a line of opulent hotels, and the individual rooms were going to have their own private sections. The real estate company Nakheel Properties capitalized on the opportunity to launch additional projects, while the Palm Jumeirah was still in the construction phase. And at this time, Dubai's real estate market was enjoying a boom in the 21st century. And at the same time, the huge Burj Khalifa, the structure that holds the record for being the tallest in the world, was being finished. Impressive, right? However, all of this was not able to survive the international financial crisis that quickly hit Dubai, particularly the real estate industry. It then became necessary to cancel all of the mega projects, and the projects connected to the man-made island came perilously close to failing as well. And in a very short period of time, the majority of the construction sites were evacuated as a result of the upheaval. The rapidly declining demand for the projects caused the price of the plots to drop precipitously almost immediately. The then ongoing expansion of Palm Jebel Ali came to a standstill. And when the company Nakheel Properties provided its investors with reimbursements, the empty sandbanks that stretched for more than 7 kilometers were completely disregarded and ignored. However, Dubai's land reclamation plan had progressed to the point that the contours of some of the islands could be visible in satellite photographs. This was a significant achievement for Dubai, for the majority of the projects had seen the beginning stages of land reclamation, although they are by no means complete. But Dubai being Dubai, you'd expect things to go right back to where they were, right? Well, in 2013, in an effort to save the Palm Deira project from failure, Nakheel Properties made an unsuccessful attempt to rename it. The process of land reclamation had to be put on hold, and the new name given to the development was Deira Islands. The original plan had to be completely scrapped in order to make room for 2 high-rise buildings and a lengthy commercial boulevard. However, the majority of the land reclamation work on the islands, known collectively as the World, had already been finished. Even before the global financial crisis had an effect on Dubai's real estate market, a significant number of its properties had already been purchased. The bulk of investors are preoccupied with their own problems at the moment, which has resulted in the project coming to a standstill. But even so, the World Islands project, despite Dubai's return to financial health following the initial financial crisis, does not profit too much from this, since investors are uncertain about the project's prospects for income. And do you think they're right? So, after being announced for the first time 10 years ago, this extremely ambitious project is not relevant to the world as it exists now. Actually, red flags are being raised about a variety of issues, including the long-term viability of the island, as well as environmental concerns. The larger canals that once connected the islands have been reduced in size due to the accumulation of sand. And in addition, the possibility that the project may have an effect on the elevation of the sea is a serious cause for concern. Aside from that, inhabitants of Palm Jumeirah have frequently expressed their dissatisfaction with the quality of the water in the area. The backwater plays an essential role in preventing the palm from being eroded, and it also helps to moderate the speed of the tides. As a consequence of this growth in the palm, the salt water that's contained within the palm stays in one place. So, the destabilization of the coastal soil that occurs when sand is stockpiled might ultimately result in the disappearance of the coastline's natural features. And due to the cumulative impact of all of these harmful consequences on the surrounding ecosystem, the project becomes unmarketable. In addition to this, the media is starting to draw attention to the predicament that migrant workers find themselves in when working on such projects. And that, in and of itself, is another factor that contributes to the overall negative image. So, do you think these projects can be revived in the end?